They call it the most beautiful road in the world, the Carretera Austral, an untamed landscape in the heart of the Patagonia stretching over 1,200 kilometers from Puerto Montt to Villa Higgins. There is no better way to explore it than on a bicycle. Carretera Austral means the Southern Way. Some people just know it as Chile's Route 7. I began my trip in December of 2023 and logged 1,158 kilometers in 18 days of cycling. I was cycling south and would finish my trip crossing into Argentina. Well, I've arrived at La Arenas, and this is day one on the Carretera Austral. It'll be, I'm expecting to, I've been recommended to spend about 3 weeks to cover the entire route down to Villa Higgins. So it's about 1,000 kilometers, and there's, I think, 3 ferries that we'll have to take in total. And starting off with kind of a misty morning here, but it's nice and been a nice and peaceful ride leaving Puerto Montt, which is officially the starting point of the Carretera Austral. So as far as I'm concerned, it starts here on this ferry, and pretty excited. So yeah, 3 weeks. The bike is fully loaded with food and fuel and Coke Zero. So I got high hopes. Well, today I spent about 4 hours on 2 separate ferry trips, and as soon as we got off the dock, I started on it's about a 50-kilometer gravel portion of the highway to the village of Chai Ten. So it's actually really nice and quiet here, and there's lots of really beautiful rivers and stuff like that. I stopped at. I had to load up on some more water for cooking for tonight, and but yeah, just beautiful waterfalls, and there's a lot of spots for hiking and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I'm not really on this trip. None of that stuff's going to be happening. But so I see a few other people in minivans and stuff like that that are setting up to camp along the side of the road tonight. Every kilometer, you just never know what's going to be around the next corner. This is going to be quite the adventure. It's off to a great start, anyways. Well, I arrived in the villa of Santa Lucia, and I was told that there's a kiosco here that has they sell hot dogs. So it's cold, and I need something to cheer me up here. So it looks like there's a little mercado here. Ah, there it is. All right, thank you so much. Got it. Wow, gracias.
Gracias a usted.
Big hot dog. It's always suggested to take your time cycling this route. They say that people who are in a rush will have regrets. I often found myself stopping to photograph flowers or take a closer look at old farm machinery that was lying in the open meadows. And there is no better time to do it than when it's sunny and warm. Well, just at the summit of yet another hill, and it started pouring rain, so I put on my gear, which is probably only the second time in Chile that I've had to do this. So it's like that car to pass. It's going to be a real long day here. 4 days of rain in the town of La Yunta, and I think even on like a non-rainy day, it still rains here. So anyway, yeah, I got some miles to catch up, so I'll be I guess I'll be pedaling out here tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be smooth sailings from here on, which I doubt. Someone brought their pet cow to work. I arrived in a small village called Puyuhuapi. I think I got that pronounced correct. And as I came down the last hill, here I am, and I'm back at the Pacific Ocean. It was kind of neat. And yeah, today's election day in Chile, so almost everything seems to be closed. So it's a little bit quiet, and just the odd person that I guess has got their voting done is just kind of wandering around the streets with not a lot going on because the bars are closed. Yeah, it's, you know, to say that there's nothing to do in these small towns is probably true, but I'm sure it's worth wandering around for a couple hours. But I think I'll continue on, and there's a spot about 20 kilometers from here. There's a campsite I was recommended to check out near a waterfall. And in the meantime, I think I'll just walk around, take pictures, and explore this village, and enjoy myself. Almost every day I would see something that made me stop riding and say, "This is absolutely amazing." Sometimes it was a majestic waterfall that seemed to reach to the sky, or an old bridge that seen better days, yet still worthy of supporting a few more vehicles before it swept away with time. And other times, I just stopped in awe and could say nothing. Today I didn't have any plans as to where I was actually going to end up camping. I knew it was going to be wild camping, just possibly in a gravel pit or somewhere along the side of the road. And well, today I lucked out, and this is probably the nicest camping site that I have found so far on my trip in South America. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's hot, sometimes kind of in between, sometimes there's bugs, sometimes there's a lot of trucks. But this one just worked out really well. So I've actually been here since about 2 o'clock this afternoon, just reading books and eating food and relaxing. Jumped in the river for a swim. It's very, very refreshing. And it's just what a great day just sit here and reflect on, what a beautiful ride the Carretera Austral is. And I've still got lots ahead of me. So I'm bookmarking this location. I'm going to put the coordinates up on the screen, and I'm going to pass on the information to other cyclists, because this is a pristine place to be. Awesome day. Good morning from Puerto Rio Tranquilo. Going on a boat trip this morning. There's going to be some marble caves that we're going to go and explore. It's about a 2.5 hour boat trip. And it's cold this morning. It's about 5 Celsius. So it's going to be a little bit chilly, but it should be exciting. I think there's going to be maybe 10 people on the boat. So we'll see who shows up this morning. But I've actually been looking forward to this. They're supposed to be really, really beautiful. The water was relatively calm today. It was nice to just relax on this tour and enjoy a rest break from cycling. I really enjoyed seeing the marble formations and how time had worn away at the rock, creating beautiful sculptures. At the same time, I kept thinking about being back on my bicycle and pushing deeper into the Patagonia. Pretty nice swimming hole, isn't it? This is the Baker River, and it's about 50 kilometers from the town of Cochrane. And since I've been here, my camp is about 50 feet away in the bushes here, but there's been a couple river rafters go past, and there's also been a kayak. He came over and said hello to me, quite friendly guy, and he was going through the rapids here, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It is cold. I had a swim already, but it's chilly, but I mean, I guess it's glacier runoff, so what do you expect? But anyway, gonna be a good night camping here, and a couple more cyclists are showing up, so we're having a cookout on the edge of the river. Good times. It's January the 1st, and I'm in the town of Cochrane. And I'm staying at a place called Camping Cochrane, and today they actually treated all their guests to a feast, and they barbecued a sheep. So it was great. There was wine, cookies, apple pie, everything. It was, I mean, they really looked after us. So highly recommended campsite, and I'm gonna hate to leave this place because it has laundry service as well, which is a really convenience for me. So
soy muy
muy patagón mi hermano, y eso que nació acá. Es que el señor que hace el asado se tenía que ir.
Se tenía que ir, entonces él lo deja siempre.
Ya, pase, por favor. Vamos a traer servicio.
No importa nada. Entonces tú estás aprendiendo.
Theo Higgins, I have arrived. I started about a month ago in Puerto Montt, and this is the end of the line for the Carretera Austral, although technically it's actually another 7 kilometers to the boat, but I'll be doing that tomorrow when I'm heading over to Candelario something or other. I'll be crossing the border into Argentina. But it's actually a really nice town. The infrastructure is it's quite fantastic, and obviously the government's putting a lot of money in here, but it's interesting going around the main square. Just, you know, people go there to mingle and bring their family cat with them, and also just wandering around and looking in the backyards of people's, you know, homes where they're working, and seeing cats and chickens getting along, which seems a little bit strange to me, but it's really nice. And there's the airport comes right through town. There's a landing strip, and obviously they kind of have to shoo the horses off of it because they seem to be just unrestrictedly just cruising around wherever they want. But yeah, it's a really good feeling, and to just be here and finally see the end of it, and just, you know, have a pint with the rest of the cyclists. Everybody's quite proud of themselves. So I have a lot more ahead of me as I'm heading for Ushuaia, so this is not necessarily the end of the road for me, just the end of the Carretera Austral. Well, I've arrived at the boat dock, and it is, let's check my watch, it is 5:20 a.m. I'm not sure when the boat is actually leaving, but we're supposed to be here for 5:30. So, and the boat is heading to Candelario Mansilla, I believe it's called. And already there's about 8 cyclists here. Everybody's, it was a 7-kilometer ride through the darkness this morning. So I just had my headlamp on, which was good enough. But yeah, it's kind of exciting. So once we clear immigration on the other side, I think that they may tell us to camp there, from what I've heard, or either that or hit the trail and start working my way towards Argentina. My cycling trip on the Carretera Austral has long since ended. Even though some days were exhausting on those dusty roads and the rainy weather could be heartbreaking, I still find myself thinking back on it with fond memories. All the amazing campsites I enjoyed and friends I made along the way. I have memories that will last a lifetime, and that feels like a good deal.